the song Psychopomp, that is actually my favorite Tea Party song, period, from the entire discography. Is
That's
there anything you can give me as a super fan of that song about any behind the scenes, whether it's the first time hearing the music or figuring out your drums for it or the recording or the release, like anything you can give me that I don't know about that song would be amazing.
that song was lyrically initially written by me when I was 17, and it was called Something More. And it was just a bad dream that I had. But Jeff and I used to write back and forth. And there are versions of Something More out there from when we were teenagers. But Jeff went back while we were recording, and he was just listening to some old cassette tapes and found that. And he thought, wow. And Something More had these, I forget what the Roland, this little drum component, electronic drum component thing, Roland something or other. And that's what the drums were on Something More when we were in high school. And then Jeff created this idea that why don't we take that song and turn it into Psychopomp? And I'm going to change up the words a little bit, but I'll keep something more in it. And I thought, this is amazing. So again, we wanted to do a slightly different drum pattern from Temptation, obviously, that we eventually programmed in, and that song is still probably my favorite song to play. There's something about it. It's very powerful at the end, and it goes really well with orchestras whenever we're performing with orchestras. Yeah, it just lends itself nicely to. It's a nice timeless song, I think.
There's such a great slow build to it of
Yeah,
intensity. And
yeah.
then, do you remember the first time hearing that piano, like the piano notes that are amazing in it?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought that's a little Nine Inch Naily, but I like it.
Again, you were talking about early on, there was maybe comparisons to the Doors and Led Zeppelin, and it's like,
Yeah,
who better to be compared to? So when you start to have a little bit more of the industrial sound, I mean, who better to be compared to than Nine Inch Nails, right?
absolutely. I thought this again, I could be compared to much worse, and to say that no one has any influence on anything is silly. So, you can choose the band, and I can tell you, some sort of influence. I'm sure that's been worn on their sleeves over time. But yeah, that was that was a very different, very unique album to make. We had a lot of problems. There was some dust from this renovation that was happening in the 350-year-old building that Jeff was living in, and we had to redo a whole bunch of stuff. And yeah, it was a crazy time back then. That one.